Fusion is a 3D VFX compositing software. And as I click into it, you'll know that I'm exactly where I was when I left this frame, on exactly the same frame with this source media. And the source media now identifies exactly the resolution of the source media. So that's a difference between the way Fusion handles media in scaling and the way Resolve does, because Fusion always wants to see the original media. So just look here at the bottom. I have 3 dots. You're looking at dot number 2, viewer number 2. Dot number 1 would be viewer number 1. The 3rd dot is to my video I/O. So that goes out to my confidence monitor, my grading monitor. And this tool set is deep and vast, and you'll find the same functions here for media pool access. You'll see your effects are listed here. If I click on clips, that actually shows me a thumbnail clip view of every clip that's now in my project, because in Fusion every clip becomes a VFX comp, and it's simply engaged when you move to Fusion while your playhead is over that clip. Or you can jump from here in between clips that you want to work with. Some interesting things to note about this, as you can see, the buttons for all the frequently used tools are here. I tend to use the shortcut, which is Shift Spacebar, and Shift Spacebar will bring up a quick select tool option. So you just start filtering in, like image plane, 3D, right? So image plane 3D, might as well show it. If we take the output of our node and we drag it over the node itself that I've just added, we can basically view this as an image plane in 3D, but we don't have a viewer selected. So let's just go ahead and show you viewer 1. Now, I've put this into 3D space, and I'm using a combination of my 3 buttons on my mouse to actually dolly around in this 3D space. But what I needed to show about this is that this is an X, Y, and Z full ground plane 3D view of this element. Now it's just in a 3D environment. Now that's completely separate. As you can see, this pipe actually connects to media out. That's important because as I head back to the edit page, there's nothing that's processed on this. The Fusion page is just basically one big, work pad or art pad to decide where you're going to create your work. Once you pipe this out to, say, the media output, that's when it returns back to the edit page. So you won't see the result of this work until it goes back down to the media out. It's just almost the same way, if you're familiar with the color page, how the nodes in the color page work. So let's go back to the edit page so you can see that nothing's changing in here, right? In fact, I'm just going to zoom into this view, and I think it might be important to switch us back to full HD or something from this point. Okay. And then where we were in the Fusion page, right? And then we're going to move one page over to the color page. Now the color page shows us this clip thumbnail again view, because in the color page everything is a single shot, so we're working on one shot or one clip at a time. We can of course create keyframes with those corrections. Those corrections are over here in this node flow. So much like I showed you how things connect from the RGB to the RGB in, from the RGB out to the media out. In Fusion page, that's happening here in the color page as well. Only everything that happens in this node and beyond is affecting the metadata of this clip. So if I were to show, say, the scopes view and just do a little color boost on this and a little color contrast, and then take the shadows down just a hair, right? You can see that all the adjustments that I've made to this clip are indicated by the rainbow ring around the clip number, the fact that there's now a grade, and if I hover it'll tell you a primary balance and a log grade on this clip. And you saw the scopes actually move to indicate the change in the pixel values. So in this view, you can see we have a timeline, 1, 2, 3 tracks visible. Disabling tracks for working in this view is one way to do it. Also, if they happen to be composited atop the other, you can unmix. So in this case, that's a clip above a clip. Unmix might show the transparency between it in some cases. We're looking at only an RGB pipe here. The effects that we might add to this in the color page on the node flow include these resolve effects. So I just opened up the effects panel, and resolve effects blur and color. As I scroll, you can see all of the resolve effects that are included. Remember, the studio version includes all of these. There's about 2/3 of these that'll be unlocked to the free version as well. And you'll find that things like face refinement, the neural engine, the relight tool, the depth map, those are going to be limited by the studio version of Resolve as well. But again, the studio version of Resolve is only $295, and it's essentially a permanent license. So and it's floating. In fact, when you go to the help menu, you can see deactivate license. So if you've activated with a license, you can deactivate and reactivate it on another machine. It allows you the flexibility to do that. Also, if you find that maybe you activated on a machine and then the machine broke, or you sold it, or you turned it back in for a different machine, and you forgot to deactivate, there would be a way for you to reactivate your license on the new machine and turn off the activation for the old machine. So it's a very flexible activation code system. It even allows you to have two systems running at the same time on your activation code. So you'll be able to use two machines, at the same time with your license. And then next year, or next month or tomorrow, whenever the next version of Resolve comes out, it's going to be available to you to download and be activated on your license. So very reasonable. We're not going to ask you for that $295 again next month or next year. So the color page has a tremendous amount of tools, including the ability to preview maybe looks or LUTs that you have, for your workflows. Now, what you've been noticing here is that I built this look without a LUT, but of course you can add LUTs to clips. You can add LUTs here. You can add them from the media pool. You can add them in the node flow. You can add them here, add a LUT to the node itself. In fact, some people would prefer, instead of just directly creating the grade in this way, they might add LUTs to transform specifically in between formats. So if you're in that camp and you're familiar with Resolve, you already know that workflow probably, and if not, you'll have to keep learning to get to that level. But we do offer training on our website, so you can get to our website, go to the Resolve mini site and click on training. Scroll down, you'll find that there are hours and hours and hours of video training and sample projects, as well as fully downloadable PDF books with our official training. I would suggest you start with the beginning.